Okay guys, this is the part 2 of the timekeeper. Now I've updated the code. It's not using the former code, but it's very similar to the previous one. This is our timekeeper bootstrap 2.0. The most thing I changed here was mostly the delete page from the server, from the web page side, and how it happens here. When I delete a file, when I open the delete page, a file is sent to the JSON file is sent to the home page, to the page of the delete page. So whenever I delete something, it deletes that key, delete the JSON value in that page, and when I press, so when I'm done, it sends the JSON file back to Arduino. Arduino now use that, updates that file in its file system. So it updates the period, the timetable in its file system. So it's now updated with the new file, in the new time, So this is basic code. This is for the file system. I got this file system part from some of Arduino example, and I removed some things. I think he had some timestamp. I just removed those timestamp, the timestamp code. Just release the directory from me. So let's first look at the library. It's the wire library and how to secretly library. This is for my timekeeper, for the DS1307 module I'm using. I was using a DS3231 before. I think it was overkill for the project. I just use the DS1307. This is my DNS server. That is domain name system server I'm using to give my timekeeper a domain. So when I press timekeeper.com, it goes to the IP address. So let me type in the IP address 192.196 and do stuff like that. The HTTP client is a web server that allows us to create a web server. This is our file system library, allows us to create a file system. I'm using into FS file system. I do need JSON for my JSON stuff. This library is really cool. You can try it out. Now, as I said before, this function lists all the files in my file system, so I can know what has been saved and what has not been saved there. The read file function reads the file in the file system. Now, I use this when I want to send the file from the file system to the web server. I don't think I'm using it in this version 2.0. We'll get to that later. On the version 2.0, what I did now, the same thing I did in the previous one. Instead of sending in that's if you look at this file, this function here, read file, what it does is to send string doc. So you see what it converts opens the file and stores that a string, add the values of the file to a string, then it sends it, returns doc, returns it to wherever I want to use it. So now it sends the HTML file as a string. And I'm using Bootstrap in this case. Now if I want to open the Bootstrap file is too large to open. Now anytime I try to open the Bootstrap file, store them in a string, the ESP86 resets itself and the whole this thing will be scattered. Instead of doing that, what I did is to send them as files instead of opening them as a string. So I send them as files. They can work properly. I use the server.stream5 method. If you don't get to that, so this is void write file. The write file, what it does for us to write the write files to our file system. Delete file. I don't think I'm using this function because the delete process is done in the web page, not on the server. So I think we have to take this guy off. So this is our DS1307 RTC. Now declare this dynamic JSON document. Declare our JSON document. This is used for time. So Arduino can multitask. You can see it's continually putting the stuff every 1 second. Other things can still happen while this is happening. Instead of using a delay, I use a millis to make it print the time every 1 second. This flag, now use a flag to make sure this flag. Why is that flag? For example, now when the time is 7:44 now, the bells are ringing. The bell will continue ringing until the time is no longer 7:44. I use that flag to make it ring only once during 7:44. So you just ring like for a particular period of time. So depending on the period, if I choose 4 to ring 4 times, then stop, it will ring again until that condition, another period is true again, and it rings the bell. So instead of ringing continually, ring only for this period of time. I use this flag to stop it from loading multiple times. So I use this to host an HTML file. This one hosts the HTML file I use for the saved page. When you see that saved stuff, okay, I've not shown the page. We'll get to the web server side. These are my strings for the period, for the after 13 period for each days. This is the string for the password. This is the bell pin 14. We have our DNS port 53, IP address, this is my IP address, DNS server and the web server, Wi-Fi client, HTTP client. I don't think I'm using this HTTP client anymore. I'll try to do something with it, but you can take that off. Shadow begin 11.5 to 100. That's the budget for our serial port. So we have our soft AP configuration, which is this. While I begin 4.5, we set the pins to use for I2C. You can leave it without those. These are the default I2C pin. You can actually just remove it if it still work. You can remove it and make it. You can remove it and just leave it like this, but it still work. This is DNS server TTL 300. The DNS server, I just check some Arduino examples and just make some changes and copy and pasted the code to mine. Now this is the port. This is the DNS server to start. This is the website to go to. When I type timekeeper.com, it goes there. So that's what I did there. I can close this tab. Let's open a new tab again and type timekeeper.com, and the serial port will be open also. You can see what is happening. Now I press timekeeper.com and I press enter. You can see the page is loaded. See, it requested for the period.txt file to update to show the time of some period. All these periods are shown undefined here, and the time have not been set. Let's cancel this one will be set. So let's go back to our code. So we have if RTC begin. So the RTC code is little fs to begin, little fs. Now the first thing it does in setup to list for the directory, to show me the files. It show me the files in my directory, and it takes the period.txt file from the file system and stores it in here as a JSON object. So as I start storing the JSON object, now I can just say Monday variable which I created above. Now because to the JSON object Monday, so did it for all of them. I check JSON example to understand how JSON works. I go to arduino.json.org to see how JSON works. So PSW, this is our first password. Bring the password. This is our pmodlet built-in output. That's for the output LED. Okay, this is our bell. I first declare the LED pin to be low. Now this is the soft declare that the access point, so timekeeper will be the name. But now this is a ternary operator. What it does is like a simple if-else statement in one line. What this does is that if password is null, now when not stored in a JSON object, Arduino JSON will turn it as null, and if it's null, just like 4 characters, you can type as a password. I told it if password is null, if PSW is null, if when you get PSW from the JSON file, if it's null, if it's empty, set the password to 1, 2, 3, 4. Else set the password to what is in the JSON file. Pass. That will type the same thing for the password file. So if the password is empty, the default password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If it's not empty, then you should take the password that is stored in the JSON file. You then press the password here. This create server is where I create the web server. You have server.begin, begin the server started. Second waiting. Now this is an alarm function. This handles the ringing of the bell. Now this is the create web server function. So we're going to get into this create web server function in our next video. So let's quickly look at the web page and play with it a little. So now Let's try updating the page first. Yes, you have a user manual here. I use a drop down. I used Java Bootstrap drop down class, stuff like that. I'm not really good at HTML. I thought I was supposed to use an accordion. I was not really able to get the accordion to work properly, so I just use a drop down. So it still works fine for me. From the navigation bar, click on tools and navigation bar. You will now be in the update page. Click on the time input boxes on any of the period to set the time. If you have lesser than 13 periods in your school, leave the many periods empty. Now in our input box are 13 periods for each day. So if you don't have 13 periods in your school, just leave the remaining boxes empty. So the time box will show time in 24-hour format, meaning that 1 o'clock is 1 p.m, 2 o'clock is 2 p.m, 9:00 is 9 a.m. So most time that depends on your box. Some rather might show you in 12-hour format, some might show you in 24-hour format. Also now when it's sent to our Arduino server, everything will be stored in 24-hour format. So if I send the time like 11 p.m, what Arduino will receive is 23:11 p.m. as a 24-hour format. And when we are done updating the page, through to the end of the page, you see a password input box. This allows you to give the timekeeper a password so that not just anyone can access it. You can also be able to change your password if you already have one. Then click the upload button to send your time. Send the time you sent to your password and your password to the timekeeper. If it saves successfully, you take to a page where you see a text time. That will be the actual time of the microcontrollers, our DS1307. And you see the text saved to file system. Click home to go back to home page. Then click on that home text to link you back to the home page. So let's try that out. Enough of the talking. Go to tools, update. Now today's Friday, so it's Friday. Let's choose second period. The bell should ring twice. So what is the current time now? Current time is 8:04. So let us choose 8:05. Since it's almost 8:05, let's choose 8:05 a.m. Okay. Say oops, sorry. Okay, 8:05. When I upload it, the bell should ring. The bell will ring at now. It's only connected to DC, so the bell is AC. The bell rang 2 times. You can see in the serial monitor. Bell on, bell off. Click on and click off twice. So this is on off once, on off twice. So when it's ringing, ring the amount times you should ring. 0 when you are in our follow starts from 0. So 0 when it is 0 1 means it has rung 0 times first time. 1 is the second time. So 0 1 out of it. This 0 means it's the first ring. 1 ring means it's the second ring. So bell on off, bell on off. So it rang twice because it was in second period. Now you only ring a bell once in a particular time. Let's continue to scroll. Now when we bring it to, you can see the timekeeper. I'm going to try to ring the bell again. This is 8:06 already. So let's go to 8:06. Can you see the timekeeper? I'm recording my webcam video to a separate file, so I'll try to merge them later. This Friday, let's choose third period. But the bell should ring. Oh, okay, let's choose 8:07. When it's 8:07, you should see 8:07 when we choose it. 8:07 a.m. It's almost 8:07. So now I close upload. As you can see, first again. So I think that is 3 now. So it's rang 3 times, then stopped. You can click on home to go back to the home page. I don't know if you saw that clearly, but in our next video I'll show you a proper clear video of how this is working. And then we'll go back to my home page and see requests for the JSON file and update them. If you check for Friday, the time is set there should be there. On Friday, you can see the times 8:07, 8:05, 7:52. Now let's go to delete page. Now deleting is actually pretty easy. Let's first go to the user manual, deleting periods, in the home, you click on the tools, then click on delete period, then click on the period you want to delete. You see notification saying period deleted. It's very easy. Let's go to tools and choose delete periods. Today as you can see, let's go and delete Thursday 13, which is 11/11. Thursday, the last period of Thursday 13th period. Then I click on it now. Let me see that it has written now the period file, and Thursday is no longer part of it. If I were to reload this page now, you see Thursday 13 would have disappeared from it. Let's reload this page to request for this. I see Thursday 13 is no longer part of the JSON file. You can see it's no longer here. That's it. So if I go back to the home page, you notice Thursday 13 has disappeared. Thursday 13. When I go back to default, it is 9:40 p.m. So Thursday 13 is now undefined. You can see it has been deleted. That's basically. So this is contact us. I've not really worked on this page. Let me see. Okay, I've not really worked on this page yet. So now back to Arduino code. So in our next video, we'll go through my almost 1,000 line of codes, too many if statements. So thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you guys in my next video. And please click the like button and share to your friends who might be interested. And also click subscribe and click the notification button so you'll be notified when I post the next video. Thanks for watching guys, and see you next time. Let me stop the video.